I mean, I know you've been in there with Khamzat, man, and Sean Strickland's taking defense is pretty good, but we haven't seen him in there against. Like, would you say Fluffy and Khamzat, it's two different levels when it comes to the grappling? Would you say, like, in terms of the way, the strength, and yeah,
absolute night and day. Like, having been in there with Chimaev and seen, and everyone who saw what he did to Dricus, like, it's not the same. It is not the same.
Must fight Sean Strickland next, guys. There's no debate. And I had 24 hours to think about this, because here's what I don't want to do. I got to tell you, as an authority figure in this sport, I don't want to pan Imanov. I don't want to do that. I respect him. I respect what he's done. I respect his patience. But Sean Strickland...
Okay, so the stage is officially set. Joe made it clear this fight has to happen. And that part about people walking on eggshells around Chimaev, feeling intimidated, that's exactly the kind of tension that sparks when these two are in the same room. You got Sean Strickland, a fighter who never backs down, whether it's inside the cage or in a war of words in Khamzat, who carries this aura of being untouchable. It's not just about the fight itself. It's about the mental game, the psychological battles leading up to it. When these two finally face off, a mix of Khamzat's calm, quiet confidence and Strickland's raw, unfiltered aggression is a recipe for chaos. This isn't just a matchup, it's a clash of personalities, and the tension will be electric long before a single punch lands. This is where real rivalries are born, and where someone is bound to lose their composure.
Fought him in head-to-head competition. Now, a couple of things came out. I am behind the scenes, and I can tell you, guys tiptoe around Chimaev. Guys are scared of Chimaev. He has a presence. Sean Strickland said, man, I used to be in the gym with this.
This clip really highlights Khamzat's quiet, unspoken power, the kind that makes even the toughest fighters think twice. But then you hear Sean Strickland's name, and it's clear fear isn't in his vocabulary. He's the opposite of subtle. For Strickland to call Khamzat a punk and openly challenge his gym ethics is nothing short of explosive. This isn't just about showing disrespect, it's about breaking down an image, tearing through that aura of untouchability. And in the fight world, that kind of bold, direct challenge often sparks the most exciting matchups. Strickland is basically saying, your reputation doesn't intimidate me, and I'm here to prove it.
I go find the biggest, baddest dude, and that's who I spar with. When Chimaev comes in the gym, he finds the easiest opponent, takes him in the corner, and beats the hell out of him. He's a bully. He said, people were there. There is one scenario, this is Sean Strickland talking, one scenario where we did a live go.
This is Strickland at his most provocative. He's not just telling a story, he's breaking down Khamzat's character by comparing his own sparring approach, where he seeks out the toughest opponents, with Chimaev allegedly picking the easiest fight. Sean is openly questioning Khamzat's integrity and courage. Calling him a bully is a sharp move designed to get fans talking and a strike at Chimaev's pride. This goes beyond typical pre-fight trash talk. It's a serious look at the ethics of training and fighting, and if Sean's claims hold true, it could completely change how people see Khamzat. All of this sets the stage for a gripping narrative leading into their showdown.
And Chimaev started with my back. So he starts in an ideal position, and Sean says, I let him choke me. He goes, but what's the point? He's already there. It was a ridiculous position. It was ridiculous that we started in that position. I let him have a choke. He said the rest of the time I ran him out of the room, and there was people that saw it. Now, I wasn't there. I'm just telling you, as far as a promo goes, that's hot. That's very hot. If any version of that...
I ran him out of the room. That's the mic drop moment. Sean's story about the gym encounter, even with the part where he lets Chimaev choke him in a ridiculous position, builds up to this bold declaration of dominance. Cal nailed it, whether it's completely true or just Sean's perspective. The story itself is pure promotional gold. It plants doubt, fuels a rivalry, and keeps fans talking. Imagine this being brought up at every press conference leading up to the fight. It's the kind of personal slight that goes beyond sport, turning a potential Chimaev versus Strickland showdown into a must-watch event born from real tension and animosity.
And Chimaev would be open to a different interpretation. Matter of fact, Chimaev responded, and he never addressed it directly. He never addressed the workout or the take the back situation or the big guy, little guy. He said, I destroyed a guy that beat you twice. And he left it at that. Now, that is true. And that hurts.
Khamzat's response is a masterclass in verbal counterpunching. Instead of getting caught up in the details of Jim's story, he hits with a brutal, undeniable truth. I destroyed a guy that beat you twice. This instantly shifts the focus back to the Octagon, where real results matter more than rumors. It's a strategic jab at Strickland to record a reminder that while Sean talks about gym encounters, Khamzat is out there finishing opponents who gave Strickland trouble. Exchanges like this are exactly what fans live for. They raise the stakes, heighten the tension, and set the stage for a confrontation that promises to be explosive, both inside and outside the cage.
I say you can hurt somebody's feelings, okay? It's the truth that hurts. And you can piss Sean Strickland off fast.
Scales Brumboot, Athlete of the Week segment brilliantly shines a light on Sean Strickland's most volatile trait, his quick trigger temper. He's a fighter who doesn't just get upset by insults, he reacts strongly to the truth. And when that truth hits, he can blow up fast. This emotional intensity is what makes Strickland so compelling to watch. He doesn't just fight, he puts raw emotion and unfiltered honesty on display every time he steps in cage. Now, pair him with a calm, dominant force like Khamzat, and you got a dynamic that practically guarantees fireworks. Every word, every move carries the weight of potential conflict. The UFC would be missing out if they didn't recognize the gold mine of personality this matchup delivers.
I mean, from a level of entertainment, that's our fight. From a level of showing an integrity to the rankings, for a level of looking at what did we hold a main event for, right? If it wasn't to catapult you into something else, like everything about our sport.
Sean, this is Shell's main argument for why Chimaev versus Strickland isn't just a great idea, it's the only idea. It hits every key point. Sure, it's entertaining, but more importantly, it speaks to the integrity of the rankings. If a fighter like Strickland, after headlining and winning a major main event, isn't given a top-tier challenge, it undermines the entire competitive structure of the UFC. This fight isn't just about two big names. It's about honoring the unwritten rules of the sport and making sure deserving contenders get the opportunities they've earned. For the division, it's the logical, necessary next step.
At least through the media and again through the rankings, in November of last year. And then both went very quiet. Oftentimes in our sport, when you're doing detective work and two guys go quiet, it's because they have a deal. They've got a deal done and they're just waiting for an announcement. Silence, many times in our sport, scream.
Kyle's detective work offers classic insight into the tricky world of fight negotiations. The sudden quiet from both Chimaev and Chimaev after the initial buzz strongly suggested a handshake deal, a hint that the UFC might have been setting up a logical matchup. This behind-the-scenes peek shows just how much speculation, hidden agreements, and maneuvering shape the fight calendar. It adds another layer to the story, proving that the road to a big fight is rarely smooth. Even when a deal seems close, outside factors or a fighter's shifting priorities can quickly throw plans off course.
Answer. But all of a sudden, Chimaev resurfaces and he's talking about 205 pounds and he's talking about it very aggressively. He is not joking about the finger that he's putting in Alex Pierre's chest. That's just simply a fight that he's not going to get. He then starts talking about Prohaska, but again, Pierre and Prohaska have one thing in common, which is they're 205 pounders. Then you get people that know Chimaev and a little rumor starts that he's weighing about 230 pounds and he would just like to go to 205. Okay, then you hear from Amanov. And this was yesterday.
This segment is a game changer, revealing the swirling rumors about Khamzat's weight and his bold move toward 205 pounds. Reports of him walking around at 230 pounds suggest he might be struggling with a middleweight cut, as calls of Pereira and Prochaska signal his ambitions beyond 185. This adds an important angle to the Strickland discussion. Is Khamzat trying to leave the middleweight division? If so, a dominant win over Strickland becomes even more significant a statement victory before a potential jump. Plot thickens even further with Amab's recent call out of Strickland, adding another layer of complexity to this high-stakes divisional puzzle.
He called out Sean Strickland. Now, I share that detail with you because if they did in fact have a fight that was done and we were just getting ready for the announcement, White House, just for example, but that's a rumor, that's a headline that's been out there. That's not what somebody would do. Amanov would not. He would go, no, I'm the guy. I've been the guy. I've waited since November, checked the rankings, send me my paperwork. But he didn't do that. I mean, Amanov, quite frankly, was quite a sportsman. He was quite a competitor. I really appreciated his attitude. He didn't put his foot down and say, give me a title shot or I'm leaving. He didn't say anything like that. He called out Sean Strickland. I appreciate that. But before we get to that, if we don't give Sean an opportunity...
Imav's decision to call out Sean Strickland, especially after a quiet period that hinted at a Chimaev matchup, says a lot. Chow makes a solid point. If a deal with Khamzat had already been finalized, Imav would likely be demanding his title shot, relying on rankings and patience. Instead, his choice to target Strickland shows a smart, pragmatic approach. He's recognizing that the landscape has shifted, staying active, and positioning himself against another top contender. This move highlights just how fluid UFC matchmaking can be, and how fighters have to constantly adapt to seize opportunities. It's part of what makes the middleweight division so unpredictable right now.
We're being very disrespectful to the 9 men that Fluffy beat. We're being very disrespectful to the opportunity that Fluffy should have had. And when you play this game, it's the ultimate poker hand. You're all in. Whatever you got is on the line. You got a belt, it's on the line. It doesn't matter if you're undefeated and this guy's lost 5 fights. It doesn't matter if you're ranked number 1 and he's ranked number 8. When you get in there, it's all on the line, winner take all. Sean Strickland took it. Sean Strickland must be given an opportunity to fight Khamzat Chimaev.
Cal delivers a strong closing statement here, perfectly capturing the essence of fight game. It's winner take all. Strickland stepped into the octagon, risked everything, and earned the victory. To deny him the next logical matchup against Khamzat Chimaev would be a disservice not just to Strickland, but to the integrity of the sport itself. This isn't about favoritism. It's about recognizing merit and respecting the sacrifices fighters make in cage. The UFC has a clear path forward. It's time to set up the fight that makes sense from every angle. Sean Strickland versus Khamzat Chimaev.